Breaking news. Did the Trump administration just find a clever way to get around California's absurd sanctuary state law that protects illegal immigrants? We think so. Coming up, we'll tell you all of the details about how the Justice Department has outmaneuvered Gavin Newsom and California Democrats when it comes to the sanctuary state law. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative. And for a long time, we have been calling for the repeal of California's insane, dangerous, and offensive sanctuary state law. This is a law that binds the hands of local and state law enforcement, prohibiting them from cooperating with federal immigration authorities in deporting criminals from this state who are here illegally. Gavin Newsom and the California Democrats are doubling and tripling down on this insane law. Now, up to this point, the Trump administration has threatened to withhold money from sanctuary cities and, by extension, the sanctuary state of California. That has been challenged in courts. I do believe ultimately that Trump will prevail because Trump is basically saying, look, if you're not going to cooperate with law enforcement, we're not going to give you grants, federal taxpayer-funded grants for your local law enforcement programs because you're not cooperating with us. So you don't get rewards, and these are discretionary grants. So I do believe ultimately Trump and his administration will be able to cut those discretionary grants, and that becomes a financial penalty. But even with the threat of losing law enforcement grants, California Democrats, the politicians continue to say, well, they're going to stand by their crazy sanctuary policies. So Trump needs to come up with a different way, a workaround to invalidate the sanctuary state policy. And here it is in the form of federal warrants for arrest of individuals who are here illegally. My good friend Bill Asaley announced a new initiative called Operation Guardian Angel. And basically what it does is it identifies people in custody locally in police departments, in the sheriff's department, in the California criminal justice system, in the prisons. It goes through each and every one of them to determine whether or not they have legal status and if they've already entered and been deported previously. This is important because if you are deported from the United States and you come back, that is now a federal felony. It's a federal felony crime. So Bill Asaley, very clever, said, well, if we get a warrant for the arrest of someone who's here illegally, we can detain them. And so he has a task force, ICE, FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, DEA, and ATF, all are working out of Asaley's office. And they go through looking for these individuals so that they can get these warrants and immediately serve the warrant on the state or local law enforcement agency that has the individual in custody. Here is the report from Fox News. And again, this doesn't do everything we need, and I'll explain in a moment why it's not a complete fix. But by golly, it is a giant leap forward in getting dangerous criminals out of the United States.
In a Fox exclusive, you're watching an incredibly rare interaction as the jail in Los Angeles transfers an illegal alien to ICE custody. The sanctuary jurisdiction forced to hand this Mexican national over thanks to a first-of-its-kind federal operation.
With this operation, we're going to be neutralizing California's sanctuary state policies.
Bill Asaley is the U.S. attorney in L.A. and the architect of Operation Guardian Angel.
California is the testing ground on this. We are one of the largest sanctuary jurisdictions.
All right, guys, thanks for circling up.
So how does it work? Asaley has created a federal task force made up of ICE, HSI, FBI, DEA, and ATF, all working together out of this office in downtown LA.
How's his criminal history?
He's got the domestic violence.
They scan these criminal databases daily to find illegal aliens in local jails who have been previously deported from the United States.
We have a warrant for your arrest.
If they've returned to the U.S., they've committed a federal felony known as illegal reentry. And Asaley's office will immediately seek a criminal arrest warrant against them, which Unlike an ICE detainer, sanctuary jails can't ignore.
We're going to flood the system with warrants for criminal illegal immigrants that are in county jails. They can ignore a detainer, but they cannot ignore a criminal arrest warrant.
The federal task force brought us with them as they went to Twin Towers Jail in downtown LA to take custody of a previously deported alien they found in their database and filed a warrant on. He was facing local charges for robbery, but the sanctuary jail immediately handed him over to ICE, with California's sanctuary policies unable to protect him from the criminal warrant.
They have no choice. They will comply. And if they don't comply, if they interfere in our ability to arrest a federal felon, they can expect to face consequences.
So there you go. What's insane about this is we're talking about criminals. We're talking about people who are here illegally by the virtue of their immigration status, but then they go and they commit a crime, typically a violent crime. Those are the folks that California Democrat politicians are trying to help evade deportation. Let's be very clear about it. These are not children. These are not people just wanting a better life and a job. These are criminals that are being shielded, protected, enabled, and facilitated by California's dangerous sanctuary state policy. Most Californians do not really understand what sanctuary state is all about, who benefits from it, criminals. They think it's just about, oh, let's just make ourselves a welcoming state where we don't want to be mean to people wanting to come here. This is not about that at all. And the liberal media in California has been fundamentally dishonest in helping Democrat politicians gaslight and drive a false narrative on this topic. So we've got now a new tool in the toolkit. It's not everything we need, but the Trump administration, again, is coming up with these clever, thoughtful ways to get around sanctuary state. Now, the most important thing that you need to understand is that Trump has done a phenomenal job securing the southern border. Here is the chart that tells it all. These are Border Patrol apprehensions at the U.S.-Mexico border. Look at that, 250,000 last year. And this is monthly, down to just 8,326 in the latest month. Why? Because the illegal immigrants know that there's a new sheriff in town, that Trump is not going to allow them across the border. That's what leadership does. I mean, yes, Trump signed executive orders changing policies, empowering Border Patrol to do their job, but it really is about sending a signal to illegal immigrants that you're not going to get in. Don't even bother paying the coyote $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. Now, California is the only area where I really worry about illegal immigration across the border, because Texas, Nevada, Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico, their states don't offer the carrot. What's the carrot? Taxpayer-funded handouts of welfare, education, free health care, legal aid, all of these, housing, all of these programs funded by you, the California taxpayer, are inducements. They incentivize illegal immigration across the border. And so the sanctuary state policy is one thing we've got to repeal and get around. The second thing is we've got to keep the pressure on California politicians to reverse course, cut the goodies, the taxpayer-funded goodies that are used as carrots, inducements. But even though we have a $12 billion deficit, and that $12.1 billion is being spent on illegal immigrant-free health care, and if you got rid of that, we would solve our deficit problem, at least on paper. California Democrats in Sacramento this week said that they want to not only keep all of that welfare rolling, but they want to raise taxes to pay for it all. This is insane. They want to raise taxes on you, the citizen, and you're not getting free health care. They're going to raise taxes on you, make your cost of living higher in order to give these the freebies to illegal immigrants. And they're standing there. Look at the whole cabal of them. Extremists, deranged idiots. They are all wanting to keep this. And at Reform California, on the assembly floor, I forced a vote. And we've got a recorded vote of all the Democrats voting down elimination of taxpayer-funded free health care for illegal immigrants. So we're going to weaponize that vote that we got. I always say, get the list of names, force them to vote on these policies. Don't allow them to kind of just bury it in the budget and then say, oh, well, I didn't quite vote for it, but I support it, but no, I didn't vote for it. Forcing a vote is the clarifying moment for voters that we can use and weaponize in the upcoming election. So at Reform California, we are continuing that fight. We also have our campaign underway to repeal sanctuary state and do a variety of other great things. It's called the California Secure Borders Initiative. Because remember, you can get the Trump administration to secure the southern border with Border Patrol. You can get them to try to get these warrants on illegal immigrants who've entered and been deported and then re-enter. That's a federal felony. But what about the illegal immigrants who come, commit a violent crime, but it's not their second time at the rodeo? The federal felony approach that Asalee is using with this workaround would not apply to that person. So that's the one element, that's the loophole that we still have a challenge on. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm thrilled with what Asalee is doing. It's another tool in the toolkit, but it doesn't cover all the criminals that we know are going to be in custody that need to be deported rather than re-released onto the streets in California. So the first thing we would do is we repeal sanctuary state. Second is we revoke the free welfare handouts, including the free health insurance that we just talked about. No more legal defense programs, no more free lawyers, no more free housing. Basically say, no, if you come here, you're on your own and we're going to get you and send you home. And then also deploying the California State Guard to the border to help Border Patrol. That would be cross-deputizing local law enforcement and California State Guard, the National Guard, to help them secure the border. And that's important because every once in a while we have these massive waves of migrants coming across the border that become too much for the Border Patrol to handle. That's why we need this policy to be changed now so that it's available far into the future. So that's an update. I'm thrilled at what Asalee is doing. It's a nice workaround on sanctuary state policy, but not enough. At Reform California, we're leading the fight. So please go online and sign up. At the bottom of the website, reformcalifornia.org, reformcalifornia.org. Put in your first name, last name, email, phone, and zip code. Then you'll be tethered into our growing movement to take back the state. Remember, we have a really popular voter guide we send to everyone on our list for the primary and general election each year, with endorsements for judges, school board races, all the way up to the top of the ticket. Plus a plain English description of everything on your ballot. Sign up at that website, reformcalifornia.org. And please chip in a contribution while you're there. We need support from grassroots supporters like you. It's the only way we can do this work. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California and a California State Representative. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.